sorry, I'm just having some technical problem. All right, so once again, good afternoon, everybody. Hi, Miss May.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, hi, Michael. Hi, Poppet. Hi,
Hello.
everyone. Please feel free to turn on your camera if you're comfortable, and so we can, interact with each other. So I was told that there are some participants who are having problems in signing in. They couldn't find the link. Well, actually, the link is in the email confirmation, right? Yeah. So I think we should start our webinar, right? And they can just sign in once they got the link. All right. So once again, let me see. Wow. I'm so thrilled to see we are all from, global ESL teachers here. I see there's some teachers from the Philippines, of course, Vietnam, yes, from Italy, Miss Luisa Pisa. Hi, Miss Luisa. Would you like to tell us a bit about yourself, ma'am?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. My name's Louisa Paniki. I'm Australian, but I live and work in Italy, and I've been at the University of Pisa for over 30 years. So
Wow.
I've
Which
been
institution you are in, ma'am?
Sorry, what's the question?
What institution are you in, ma'am?
At the University of Pisa.
Oh, nice. Interesting.
Thank you.
Great. And I heard you're 30 years teaching.
Yes, I've been teaching languages, modern languages, including English, for over 30 years. Yes, long
Thank
time
you,
now.
thank you. Amazing. Thank you so much. And of course, we have from Miss Letty Min Loan from Vietnam. Hi, Miss Loan. Yes, and we also have from Pakistan. Wow. Our webinar reached until, Pakistan. Hi, Mr. Ali. Are you there? Thank you for joining our webinar today. And of course, from Miss Hung from Vietnam, Michael from Canada, and we also have,
Hello.
yes, we also have Bella. I hope I pronounced your name correctly, and also currently in Vietnam. And also we have Miss Chelsea, originally from Michigan and now in Ho Chi Minh City. Hi, Chelsea, are you there? Hi, Miss Chelsea. Okay. Yes, and of course we have from the Philippines as well. Again, Mr. Clint, from the Philippines, but currently here in Vietnam. So once again, welcome everybody. All right, so I think we should better start our webinar for our webinar program. Yes. All right. So once again, welcome everybody in our webinar today. Good day, everyone, and welcome to our global webinar, Future Proofing ELT through AI Mindfulness, leveraging technology to enhance human-centered learning. And I'm Karen Chermain Badong, and I'll be your moderator today. So, we are very thrilled to have ESL educators, leaders, and advocates from around the world with us. Like we have, from Italy and from different parts of the world, Pakistan, Philippines, and Vietnam. And, before we dive in with our webinar, we hear some quick Zoom etiquette reminders. You're all muted, and please feel free to turn on your camera. If not comfortable, if you are comfortable, it makes us feel more connected. And please use the chat box to share our ideas and reflections. We also have some Q&A at the end, so save your questions for that segment. And lastly, be respectful, stay engaged, and most of all, let's all have fun. Now, once again, let's celebrate our global presence and by starting this opening reflection. So first and foremost, I have a question. So why do AI and ESL teaching matter so much today? So because the world our students we are preparing for is not the same world we grew up in. Artificial intelligence is, yeah, reshaping how we work, communicate, and learn. And of course, language teachers, we are right at the heart of this transformation. For us ESL educators, AI is not about replacing the teacher. No, it's about empowering the teacher, helping us design lessons more efficiently, personalize learning for diverse students, and even free up our time. So, we can focus on what matters most: human connection, empathy, and meaningful learning. If we embrace AI with mindfulness and responsibility, we can future-proof our teaching careers and ensure that our classrooms remain places where technology enhances, but again, never overshadows the human touch. So that's why today's webinar is not just timely, it is necessary. So because teachers who adapt today will lead tomorrow's classrooms. So now it is now my honor to introduce to you our keynote speaker, Dr. May Castillo. She holds a master's in ESL and a doctorate in language education. With more than 19 years of experience in transforming classrooms, she is recognized as an advocate in AI-enhanced communicative language teaching and is currently leading research on AI applications in multilingual contexts. Her work champions the idea that technology must always serve human-centered learning, a philosophy that inspires us all. Please welcome everybody, our distinguished keynote speaker, Dr. May Castillo.
Oh, thank you for the generous words, Ms. Karen. Thank you everyone for joining us here. I am really thrilled, and hopefully it's really going to be fun. And although these things that I'm going to share with you are not really new, but it's just trying to revisit our knowledge, our experiences, and perhaps we can start from there, and we can also share our thoughts and our ideas about the topic. Okay, so let me just share with you my screen. Okay. Okay, so Miss Karen?
Yes, Miss May, we can see your PowerPoint.
Okay, all right. So for this session, I'm going to talk with you about future-proofing ELT through AI mindfulness, leveraging technology and human-centered learning. And yeah, of course, I'm May Castillo. And so in this session, I just have 3 objectives and would like to evaluate some opportunities and risks of AI integration in ELT context. Second, we have to explore the implications of this AI mindfulness in future-proofing ELT. And finally, we'll have to consider practical strategies to maintain human-centered learning while using AI tools. Okay, so just recently, I actually came across that idea to check ChatGPT. So this is one of the most popular AI tool, okay, that we use. And so I asked about what it can do, and these are the things that it mentioned. Okay, so it says, for teaching support, it explains concepts, make lesson plans, create activities and assessments, content creation, so it designs slides, infographics, posters, class materials. It can also help us with our research to summarize, paraphrase, cite, and interpret data or graphs. And then with our field, okay, so it says it can show how to use AI responsibly with awareness of risks and benefits. And it can also generate files, charts, and even simple apps or automation. Okay, so it's really overwhelming what ChatGPT can do. And we're going to talk about some opportunities and risks of AI integration in ELT context. But first off, I have a question about your impression of AI use in learning and teaching. What is your impression of AI use in learning and teaching? By the way, you can send or you can type in your answers by just typing in your answers in the chat box, and so we can read them later on. So just to share with you, this was taken from UNESCO. Okay, and let's listen to this tete-a-tete episode.
My initial impression of AI was, I am out of a job because this device can write an essay better than I can. So how can I sell students on the importance of writing topic sentences and learning grammar rules when this thing can just do it for us?
Do you feel the same thing? Like you're being intimidated by AI because AI can be much better than us teachers. So definitely, perhaps you also have some apprehensions. And actually, I also personally think, especially during the infant stage of AI, so it made me feel like, am I capable to, also make use of this technology, integrate this in my teaching? So there is that apprehension that it could be difficult for me to catch up with this trend or with this technology. So that actually this should be a eureka moment, because with research recently, there's an influx of research regarding this and how AI affects teaching English. So this is an example of a study. Research shows how AI has the capacity to enhance the effectiveness of teaching English. So in this case, incorporating AI into educational models, especially for English language learning, represents a revolutionary change that has fundamentally altered teaching methodologies and learning environments. So this improves student outcomes, academic performances, and attitudes toward learning in the post-pandemic era. So research has shown how AI can enhance the effectiveness of teaching English. So there's that hope that perhaps AI is not a deterrent to teaching, but it could be an opportunity. So in that regard, so I checked out some information. This is from the British Council. And these are some AI tasks currently practiced by language teachers in general. So most of the teachers who use AI practically create materials. And others also help learners practice. So perhaps they generate some materials to let the students practice. And then they also need AI to create lesson plans, which can be taxing really and can be time consuming. And they also use AI to correct English. So it can be a tool for them to mark papers or mark output of the students. And finally, grade or assess their work. Okay. So specifically, we have this some specific skills, okay, that teachers also try to target using AI. So for speaking, how AI helps is that they use this as a conversational partner. So for example, they use Alexa, okay, so just to have a conversation buddy, okay. And so for writing, we also use that for grammar and vocabulary check or some practices. And sometimes they also use other tools to mark, like there are some AI tools that they can use to mark some writing output and also reading. And for this, they also use AI-powered games. And definitely because of gamification, then this becomes very enticing for the students. And finally, for listening, so they use AI to practice and give feedback. So like making use of some chatbots. Okay, so we have here this to give you an overview about the data, which was taken from Forbes Advisors in 2024. So since we had some possible apprehensions, definitely with these kinds of studies, and they give us the overview of some trends, our apprehensions are gradually changing. So from the apprehension, it becomes curiosity. So we see the dramatic rise of AI adoption. So here's to show how AI has been adopted since 2023. Although the rise of AI began in November 2022. In this study, educators were slightly ahead of students in AI adoption at the beginning by 8%. But there was a rapid growth in 2024 where students adoption almost doubled from 2023, and educators had a significant significant jump as well. So definitely both groups showed a sharp increase, with educators still leading. And in 2025, this year, there is this convergence where students now have 56% adoption, and educators have 60% AI adoption. Okay, so what does that mean? The gap between students and educators narrowed. So that shows that students are catching up very quickly. So AI adoption means the process of starting to use artificial intelligence tools or technologies in practice, not only in school, but also in their work or in their daily lives. Okay, and in relation to this, we have these affordances of AI in language education. So first, we have personalized and adaptive learning experiences. And so students now have the opportunity to perhaps tailor their activities or practices based on their own pace or based on their own abilities. Secondly, enhance practice opportunities for productive language skills like speaking and writing. And finally, to fostering learner autonomy and self-regulation. So using AI in language education also develops independence of the students. So this could be a very significant thing about its use. And so in relation to this, we talk about the emergence of agentic AI. And so what do we mean by agentic AI? This refers to the rise of AI systems that can take initiative and act more independently instead of just following direct instructions. So there's a difference between traditional AI that responds only when we ask. Like, for example, if you're familiar with GIGO, so garbage in, garbage out, so you only receive what you input, so it becomes reactive. And for agentic AI, it can set goals. It can also plan some steps, make decisions, and carry out tasks without constant human prompting. What can be an example for this? In education, agentic AI could notice when a student struggles and automatically adjust the lesson. So for example, a particular tool that we use is this read theory. So this is an AI, Gen AI tool that we use to perhaps give the students more chances to improve, more opportunities for them to practice their reading comprehension. And so it suggests new learning paths or resources on its own. So that's the idea of agentic AI. So it's more of a modern AI. So in this study, this is also from British Council, that employees are ahead of their leaders in using AI. Employees are using Gen AI 3 times more than leaders think. So that's over 70% of employees believe that Gen AI will change at least 30% of their work within 2 years. So perhaps that also would make some of their jobs easier and faster. Millennials, for example, are 1.4 times more likely than other age groups to already be familiar with Gen AI tools and to expect rapid workflow changes. Thus, employees are already adapting AI quickly, but leaders are underestimating how much. Okay. And the next part, which is also a part of the study, 92% of companies plan to increase Gen AI in the next 3 years. However, only 1% of companies say their Gen AI initiatives are mature, so it's not yet fully developed. Most companies are still experimenting. So there's enthusiasm, but very few have fully integrated AI into stable operations. And so there is a call for the leadership's responsibility, and that executives are 2.4 times more likely to see employee readiness as a barrier than their own leadership gaps. But in reality, employees are already using AI much more than leaders assume. 48% of employees say training is the most important factor for adoption, but nearly half feel they're getting moderate or little support. I don't know if you also have the same experience. So we're being encouraged to use AI. Unfortunately, there could be very minimal support that comes from the management or from the leadership of the administration. So to interpret this, the real bottleneck is not really about the employee's readiness, but it's leadership alignment, their strategy, and providing proper training. And in this study, we see that this is a chart showing U.S. employee sentiment on generative AI across age groups. And so we say that millennials, based on this data, stands out across all dimensions. So they have extensive familiarity with Gen AI. They're comfortable using Gen AI at work. They provide feedback on these tools, and they want to participate in the design of Gen AI tools. However, for younger groups, they're also highly comfortable. They show strong interest and they also give feedback. That's why they are called the AI enthusiasts. These are the people who are excited, participatory, and very dynamic. And for the older ones, it shows lower familiarity, but there's still a strong willingness to participate in design. And so they are called the AI pragmatists. So which area do you belong, or which era do you belong? Are you millennials who are AI optimists? Are you the younger ones who are AI enthusiasts, or the pragmatists? I actually belong to the pragmatists. However, the good thing there is so much interest. There's a strong willingness to participate in the design. And so this suggests confidence somehow and optimism. The interest is really spreading across all ages. So it doesn't matter whether you are a millennial or you're younger or older one. These are some of the AI platforms that are widely used in the past 2 to 3 years. These are generative AI-powered search engines and chatbots that use large language models to answer queries with cited sources. So which do you usually use? Do you use Claude, Copilot, Gemini? Are you familiar with Notebook LM? Probably you can also raise your hand if you want to just share some, or maybe just to show that you also use this, like ChatGPT and Perplexity. So these are just some of the many Gen AI platforms that are now available. Okay, so just to have a check, I have here AI worry meter. And let's check out how, or what's your status when it comes to AI adoption. So I want you to please scan this code and answer the questions. Okay. So you can scan the code, or may I ask Miss Karen to please
Yes,
send
ma'am.
the
I
link?
already input the link in our group chat. You may just everyone who you can, yes, click the link in the group chat, in the chat box. Sorry.
Okay. So let's wait a bit and check out.
So while we're waiting for the results of the link, so I would like to acknowledge some educators here who commented in our chat box. For example, Shams, who are right. I believe AI in the classroom can free up teachers from administrative tasks, allowing them to focus
Exactly.
on what matters most. That's right. Including human connections and personalized instructions. By using tools for things like generating lessons, ideas, or providing instant feedback, educators can create a more dynamic and engaging learning environment. So ultimately, a partnership between AI and human intelligence could enhance both the teaching and learning experience, so making education more effective and accessible for everyone. Wow.
Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts and your insights about our topic. And so we also start thinking, how are we trying to revolutionize our own pedagogical skills? All right, so thank you. Thank you for the comments.
Thank you so much.
Right, so we have here some people who have already started answering. First question, how do you feel about using AI in teaching? Okay, so majority of you said you are optimistic about it. Congratulations. So that means a good thing. Are you a millennial, enthusiast, or pragmatist? So 4 people answered, I am grateful for it, of course. And 1 is excited for it. Okay, thank you. Let's have the next question. What concerns you both about using AI and ELT? So just 1. Okay, so we see accuracy and reliability of AI is one major concern. Okay, in the same way that somehow it's also related to the next one, which is about the ethical issues on privacy, plagiarism, and bias. We're going to talk about that later on. And lack of AI training. Actually, when I started with AI stuff, that was after the pandemic. November 2022 was the beginning of ChatGPT, and then from then there's a dramatic, a rapid change. And yes, I could say that there was no training when it comes to AI. So you really have to do it on your own to train yourself. And another is that student over-reliance on AI, okay, which is understandable. And we'll also be talking about that later on. All right, so rank the following AI features in order of importance for your teaching needs. So first, lesson planning assistance. Okay. Perhaps we can also ask the participants to maybe identify what level do you teach. So do you teach in the primary, secondary, or university? And so we can also try to talk about the differences somehow. And then enhancing student practice. Yes. Content generation, like in test construction. Yes. Resource recommendations, especially for those who are conducting their research, and then feedback automation. And yeah, so there is or are people who say they don't use AI yet for some reasons. Okay. Thank you. And what do you prioritize about AI in teaching? Students' over-reliance on AI, ethical issues, accuracy and reliability, the lack of AI training. So this was just restated a while back. Okay, thank you. And do you need training to use AI effectively in teaching? Yes, but not urgently. Okay, so that's a good thing. And the other said yes, urgently. Okay, so let's talk about that. Thank you for your participation. Now let's proceed to the next. We'll have to talk about the challenges now of AI in language education. So first, there's a lack of empirical research in the aspects of pedagogical effects, learners' interaction with AI-supported learning, teachers and students' attitudes towards AI. Second is technology barrier, such as the dialogic competence of AI, which has imposed some difficulties in applying AI in language learning. And third, overcoming people's perceptions and fear of AI. For example, whether language learning or teaching will be needed in the future due to the development of AI. In other words, we have, just to summarize, the first one is about lack of research. We still don't know enough from real classroom studies about how AI affects teaching methods, how students interact with this, and how teachers and students feel about using this. So this is also a call for us educators to use this as a part of the needs analysis for research, so we can also understand more about this. Next is about technology barriers. AI tools are not yet perfect in conversations, definitely. Well, particularly dialogue skills, which makes it harder to use them smoothly for language learning. And the other one about the perceptions, there's some people worry that AI might replace teachers or make learning languages unnecessary, because we already have this like Duolingo and some other AIs that they can use instead of having maybe formal education, learning a new language. Perhaps for other learners, they don't need that anymore. That could be one of our fears. So we need to address these fears and show the continuing importance of human teachers. So it's necessary to identify these challenges in order to turn these challenges into opportunities and to open our eyes to existing things that we have to confront. And so after the challenges, we talk about the risks. What are the risks? First, the language standardization bias and ethics. This include risks of promoting certain English varieties. So using AI, usually they make use of British English only or American English. And that could also be some implicit bias in translation or pronunciation models. There can also be a lack of clear ethics and privacy frameworks. This can reduce trust, of course. How many of us were surprised to read an unexpectedly beautiful essay from an unexpected student? Can you raise your hand? How many of us were surprised to read an unexpectedly beautiful essay from a particular student? Something unexpected. Because how do we know, by the way, that this is unexpected for an unexpected student? This is not to discriminate, but as teachers, we know exactly, somehow, we have our own assessment of the abilities, the skills of our students. So it would be surprising for us. And this is one of the risks, that there could be trust issues already. And some students will say, excuse me, but that's mine. It's my own idea. It's my own output. How can you be suspicious about it? And there could be conflict with that. Next, number 2, the loss of human interaction and emotional connection. So what happens is there is reduced teacher-student engagement and natural learning environments. AI just mimic emotions, but it lacks genuine empathy. And then, of course, there will be students risk they tend to be over-reliant. There could be weaker self-regulation, and that this may not be applicable in real-life communication situations. Next, we have technical malfunctions and limited capabilities. When system breakdown happens, or errors happen, or there could be some glitches, we cannot avoid that. And sometimes the students can be disengaged when AI fails to meet expectations. They just stop because perhaps he cannot really express what he wanted AI to do for him. And there could be classroom distractions and management issues. Therefore, this rapid technological change, and then there is insufficient teacher training and support, that can be disappointing for the user. It can be disappointing for the teacher. So with this risk, considering all these risks, the question is, should we ban AI? Please type in yes, no, maybe. What do you think? Should we ban AI, considering all these risks?
Most of the answers, no, no. From Miss Nestle, we have no. Of course, from Hobbs, we can't. From Miss Hung, we can't. Lyndon, no. So,
So all of them answered no. The question is, why not? But I should agree with you. It's not about banning AI. We need to shift our perspective on generative AI from one of policing to one of possibility. So as AI becomes increasingly essential, restricting or banning it is not realistic. It's not even productive. And about the fears that humans can be replaced by AI, this is misplaced. Well, instead, I think the question should be, what new opportunities does AI create now that is part of our reality? So, what new opportunities does AI create? At the same time, we must approach its use with care. recognizing that different disciplines and contexts call for thoughtful application rather than blind adoption. Educators and leaders are not demanding bans. They're actually calling for meaningful, high-quality professional learning that is embedded in their daily work. We just wanted to have a better quality of work using these tools. So there's no need for us to ban, but what can we do? What can we create instead? So this can be an opportunity for us to recreate or find ways or make a scheme to make AI to our advantage. And so just an icebreaker. Okay, I want to give you this icebreaker as also a part of our reflection. Perhaps while you are answering this, we can also have a little reflection. So can you please scan the code and let's answer the questions. Okay, so see.
I also included the link in the chat box. You may click the link, please.
All right. Thanks. Uh-oh. Okay, I want you to please start with the audio first. Have you started? Please start with the audio first. So spot AI generated content. Click audio first. This will take only about 1 minute for audio and then another minute. After that, another minute for the images. So I want you to please remember your scores for the audio and for the images. And let's see if you pass. So spot AI generated content. From the audios, click audio first. And then after that, please remember your score. And then proceed to the next on images. Please type in your scores if you pass.
I got 4.4 over 5.
Okay.
Shams got 3 over 5. I'll do at least half.
Okay. Now let's proceed to images. Let's see if you can distinguish between real and fake. Okay, maybe you can go to that later on. And based on your scores, were you able to distinguish fake from what is real? I only chose the images and the image and the audio due to time constraints. So can you distinguish which is real from what is fake? So we move on to the implications of AI mindfulness in future-proofing ELT. In this case, we know for sure that there are some skills gaps, and that for this, we need to have cultivation of AI literacy and critical engagement. And if there are academic integrity issues, there should be an established ethical framework And definitely, there are some of us who have this increasing need for student support. And so we need to have human element and evolve pedagogies. About skills gap, did you know that only 20% feel that they are trained with AI? Therefore, AI adoption is accelerating across education, but training hasn't kept pace. And there's also this AI limits and risk. This mismatch signals a perception gap between what leaders think they have delivered and what students and educators feel they have received. So in your university, for example, or in your school, do you have a specific guidelines? Okay? Do you have a set of guidelines that you follow in terms of AI use? If you have, you are lucky, because majority of the institutions do not have these guidelines yet. Okay? So that could also be something to consider. And how did you change your language teaching approaches to rise of AI so far? Okay, so another question that we can ask ourselves, how do we encourage creativity, critical thinking, and reduce over-reliance? One of the factors, one of the fears or worries, concerns of the teachers is that students over-reliance. Therefore, how do we have human-centered learning? We use creativity, critical thinking, and there should be a reduction of over-reliance. AI can be a creative and collaborative partner by complementing and not replacing traditional learning methods. And we can say that we need to use AI to help us reimagine learning experiences. But challenges around responsible usage and readiness must be addressed head on. Therefore, we need to teach the students that they have to treat AI as a flawed peer and not really a tutor. However, for some educators, they consider AI to be a tutor. As long as, and maybe you'd ask, so what is it? Are we going to consider AI as a tutor or not as a tutor? As long as it does not teach the students to be cheaters. Okay. So there, I think that's precisely the answer. Encourage creativity. We have to allow them to use their critical thinking skills, and so they can be more free in the use of these tools. So how we can make use of these strategies? Definitely, these are existing strategies already. However, we can still transform this by the use of AI, like using Socratic questioning. We can encourage students to justify their opinions and challenge assumptions. Like, for example, after reading an article, you can ask some questions like, do you agree with the idea that? Okay, so at least there is an exchange. So there can be, we exercise their processing system, okay? And next, we can also have problem-solving tasks like using role play. You know, in one of my researches, I actually asked for the students' favorite strategies, learning strategies. And they said that role play is their main or the primary strategy that they prefer, because perhaps this present real world scenarios that require decision making. Students tend to express their ideas on how they negotiate, and they explain their reasoning in that case. Compare and contrast activities. This is when we use graphic organizers to compare cultural practices or opinions, or you can also use graphic organizer to use this to have their vocabulary list. An example could be a comparison of education systems in two countries and discuss their pros and cons. For debates and structured discussions, this maybe others would say, but this is only for higher level of learners. But well, it's not really only limited to higher level, but we can assign students opposing viewpoints and have them prepare their own arguments. And we could also have inference-based reading. So choose text with the implied meaning, and then we ask them to infer character motives, to predict some outcomes or interpret the tone and have a deeper understanding of the text or the article. Other strategies that we can use English to English dictionaries instead of direct translation. We can also encourage risk-taking and approximation. This is to use sentence starters, like we have some scaffolds to support fluency without overcorrection. So sometimes we can also just tolerate mistakes, but there are also times when we need to correct them right then and there. So that will depend on the situation. And then we can teach also metacognitive strategies. What's metacognitive? It actually comes from meta. It means about, and cognitive is mental processing about your own. That means so we help students to reflect on how they learn, what they learn.
Hello, Miss.
To help them. Evaluating their learning. And we can limit passive note-taking instead. Integrate authentic materials like brochures, podcasts. We can integrate them. Next, we have this academic integrity issues. We need to develop clear ethics and privacy frameworks to protect fairness. I have here the craft framework. So we can make use of this. To do this, they need to focus on 4 main areas: the rules, the familiarity, how they understand AI. There should be trust. That's building confidence between or among the students, the teachers, the leaders. And if there's one missing, then the problem can happen. And there could be cheating and privacy risk. There could be unfair use. So we need to consider culture in this case. Therefore, we need to have AI in education that can support equity, inclusiveness, and lifelong learning. That can be through customizable and tailored learning experiences. I'm trying to, because we're running out of time, I just wanted to make sure that we emphasize that human teachers remain irreplaceable. For what reason? Well, we can use AI as a complementary tool using or providing feedback, giving them feed forward, and you can also use hybrid models for human interaction. Okay. How do you give student feedback? We use the sandwich method: positive, constructive, and another thing. How do we correct them? We don't use or negative, okay, negative statements like don't use maybe colloquial or slang terms in your article. So instead of saying that, then perhaps you can say that use appropriate words in context. Okay. So what are the practical strategies to maintain human-centered learning in the age of AI? And there could be several. Okay. So we can use human interaction to establish clear boundaries. empower educators with technological pedagogy, and cultivate student discernment and critical thinking, as we already mentioned. So I have here some sample Gen I tools in the classroom, and we use this for different purposes. Like for listening and speaking, we can use Gemini and 11 Labs. So I have also here an example using Narakit. This is to use a text and then convert that to an audio. Okay. So just to show you how it looks, so it's just similar to this. We're using this in order to come up with audios, and that it can be easily given to the students for listening practice. So we can have different accent, like for example here.
Mick Vudisic born without limb in Australia to Sebian Imigan. Mick Vudisic conditino is now AS tetra amelia syndrome. His time grew up
This
in
is
Australia was
using
to with
Vietnamese
bullying.
accent, and comparing it with the other one.
Nick Vujicic born without limbs in Australia to Serbian immigrants. Nick Vujicic's condition is known as tetra amelia syndrome. His time growing up in Australia was fraught with bullying, discrimination, and hardship, to the point where he tried to commit suicide to escape the abuse.
About the story of Nick, and this is supposed to be an inspiring story to help them just understand the context. And you can also make use of other tools like 11 Labs. So in order for the students to have ample chances to practice their listening and speaking, you can also use the audio for Gemini. And next we have, for grammar and vocabulary, I use Notebook LM, and then you can also use Free Rise. Now, the interesting part of this is when we use, for example, Free Rise, this is from UN. And every time that you practice your vocabulary, it actually gives the organization a chance to have some money to be donated to those people who are less privileged. So very simple. So just answer using this app or this Gen AI, and you will have grains of rice that can be donated for other people. Like, let's say, for example, eliminate means to remove. Okay. So you can have different levels. It can be more difficult, and this can also not only improves the vocabulary of the learners, but they're also giving charity to other people who are in need. And then for Google LM, you don't even need to sign up. So you can try this and just use this for so many purposes. So you can create a new upload, and then you can ask it to have a summary of the notes. And you can also ask this to have an audio. You can have some meeting transcripts, sales documents, etc. This is what I use whenever I give some reading or some grammar lessons and practices to the students. So you can check it out. And then for the next one, reading, we use read theory. This is to assess the reading comprehension of the students, and the tool can already give some activities for them to do to assess their abilities and to improve their skills in reading. And for those who are familiar with TWE, this is a very good app or AI tool that you can use for different uses. So just to show you just the interface, because we don't have much time anymore. So here you can have different tools in one tool. Okay, so you can check the level of the students, and then you can create activities for vocabulary, audio, video, and all that. So there can be so many exercises that you can come up with just one AI tool. And then finally, we have the chatbots, okay? So for content creation, Copilot, ChatGPT, and many more, which I already presented to you a while back. So I apologize, I could not really give the exact demonstration of all this. I'm planning to have a comparison of using Copilot, ChatGPT, and Gemini using the same prompt, and we'll have to change the prompt into another and how it can give us a different information. So perhaps next thing that you can explore will be how you can use these tools and how you can maximize their everything that they can offer. So that's it. I have here the references just for you to check out, just in case you're also trying to do a research. And finally, for my last words, teacher, you are irreplaceable, and nothing replaces the heart of a teacher. AI might deliver information, but can never replace the heart of a teacher. You are more than instructors. You are mentors, guides, and role models who inspire curiosity. That you also nurture values, and you help students grow into thoughtful human beings. So we don't have to be scared. We are teachers. That's all. Thank you, everyone.
Wow. Thank you very much, Miss May, Dr. May Castillo. What a very insightful notes that you have provided for us. So once again, I think there's more,
Thank you so much.
reaction from our participants today.
I really apologize. I couldn't have the time anymore to demonstrate how we can use them, but
Oh my
just to
God.
give you an idea, you can explore so
Yes,
many
yes.
more.
And Miss May, don't worry because there's always a next time. This will be our first, but absolutely not last free webinar to our ELT teachers, right, guys?
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you so much.
Some, you may, yes. So everyone's raining some of these emojis. Yes. And as you can see in our group chat, Miss May, they are so very interactive while you are providing your talk.
Yeah, I couldn't read them, but maybe later on, maybe we can have a copy of the
Yes,
transcript.
absolutely.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Miss May. Thank you very much. So once again, Miss May, Dr. Castillo, thank you so much for your insightful keynotes for us. I think many of us will be carrying these key takeaways with us. So first, AI is a revolutionary tool for ELT classrooms. However, it should be balanced with traditional methods to ensure, meaningful education. Second, we have to understand and be responsible. AI use strengthens human-centered learning. And lastly, human teachers are, like what she said, what you mentioned, irreplaceable. We are irreplaceable. AI may deliver information, but it can never replace the heart of a teacher. So, Miss May, these lessons not only inspires us, but also give us practical steps that we can apply in our own teaching and professional journeys. So we're very grateful for the valuable knowledge she shared with us today. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. It's an honor to be with you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So now let's proceed to our interactive Q&A session. And this time I'll let all of you, or just you may type your question in the chat box, or maybe click the raise hand feature that we have. Maybe I'll read a few of your questions aloud for Dr. Castillo. Let us begin with the first question. Anyone would like to, let's hear.
If they don't have a question, perhaps I can ask a question.
Oh my God, I think it's better for us to ask question. Come on. She's chatting.
No, it's not. Maybe I also want to gain some insights or some recommendations of how they're coping with the needs of the time. Like, what AI applications do they usually apply to make the teaching learning experience more profitable
That's
or
true.
more effective?
Yeah. Anyone would like to accept the challenge question from Miss May? I think we have some prizes and giveaways for those. Yeah, we
Really?
do. We do. We
Oh,
do.
really?
We have some from Michael. Michael? Yeah, in your part, right? But I think we can give away some, vouchers for those participants who would love to answer, right? Anyone would like to click raise hand here, feature? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I think we have question from Michael.
Yeah, I was just going to do the giveaway if, unless you want to keep taking some questions. Or are you ready? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
sure.
sure. Yeah.
All right, perfect. All right, so my name is Michael. Working with Bridge AI. So I just wanted to introduce you guys to the app that we created to solve a lot of the problems that we see in the industry. So as May told us, most teachers are using AI these days, but we wanted to create a one-stop shop where you can create your lesson plans from A to Z and save yourself a lot of time, and also work with trained models in AI. So we just wanted to give you guys a little bit of walkthrough with our app today, and then after that, it'll only take about 5 minutes, and then after that we'll do a giveaway of 7 different prizes. So I'll let you guys know what those are, and we'll spin a wheel, make it random, and we'll give away some prizes today. So I'm just going to share my screen. Just tell me if it works or not. Give me one moment here. All right, perfect. So if you guys have a quick moment, please take the time to download the app. We posted it a few times in the chat, and if somebody wouldn't mind posting it again, just as I share my screen here. So when you go to bridgeai.pro, it'll bring up our app. And so I'm just going to show you what you can do with the free version. So this won't cost you anything to use. You can begin using it right away for the new school year. So let's take a look here. We're going to click Try Bridge AI. Yeah, and then once you're logged in, your dashboard will look like this. Let me just get rid of this thing here. All right, perfect. So you have a few different options here. What I want to do is I want to go and create a new lesson. All right, so it's very simple. It's just going to ask you about, about six different questions, I believe, in total. So first question is proficiency level. So let's just throw in intermediate. Let's say we're teaching secondary and high school. And for the topic, we could say Western culture versus Eastern culture. That's the topic that I like. You can choose the time limits, 60 minutes, or when I teach high school, it's usually 90 minutes, and there's usually 1,000 students in the classroom, so about 45 students there. Just click Next, and then you can hone your lesson even further by asking what you want to focus on. The classes that I teach are usually speaking classes, IELTS speaking classes, so I don't focus too much on grammar. So I'll do speaking, pronunciation, listening, culture, vocabulary, and reading. And we're going to do academic for school. And then you can even focus the lesson even further by kind of honing in what kind of vocabulary you want. So I'll put in terms, vocabulary for culture, hobbies. You can be a little bit more detailed when you do it. This is just an example. And then learning objectives. This is an important thing to take note of. If you are looking to do languages for Pakistan or languages for the different countries or in Italian, you want to specify it here. So I'm going to put for Vietnamese learners. So you can put in a couple things here. It's going to hone the lesson and make it even more effective, but just for time's sake, I'm just going to put the one there, and then you can put even more requirements in there. So as you can see, there's only about 6 to 8 fields to fill out, and then you can already be generating your lesson plan. So let's time it. Let's see how many seconds it takes. So this is a good thing to do if you want to save time. I know we all use AI already, but this app is designed to be streamlined, and we're designing it with models to be specifically trained to work in the education industry. So it's already been trained to provide you with the most optimal lessons. So it is a new technology that we've been developing. So the end goal is going to be able to take this lesson that we create. So I won't get ahead of myself. Let's look at it really quick. So it gives you the lesson structure, it gives you a warm-up, step-by-step procedure. So it just breaks everything down into the time limit that you specified. And when you go to the bottom, it'll tell you what materials are needed. And then also at the very bottom, teaching resources. So these are things that will provide you with materials you need to do your lesson. I think it's quite awesome. So you already have your worksheet set up. So that's a good part of the lesson right there. And you have a quiz, so you can quiz your students. The presentation, and this is what I want to stress on as well. We just started this app. So the end goal, again, Bridge is going to be your one-stop shop from creating your lesson plans from A to Z. So ultimately, we're going to want this function to be filled up, and you'll be able to take your lessons, for example, that you created, and then be able to just click a button and then put it onto Canva. So how amazing would that be? Because I know as a teacher, the thing that I spend the most time on in lesson planning is taking the information I get from AI and then putting it into Canva and making a slideshow, right? So that's our goal with Bridge, is to keep scaling it up and making it, again, your one-stop shop to just come and make your lesson plan in minutes, including mediums like Canva, and we're going to be building onto it in the future. So that's something you can start using for free right now. Last thing I want to show you before we do the prize giveaway here is if we're looking at the pricing here, we can look at the differences between the free version and the paid version. So right now you have access to the free version, which includes 4 lesson plans a week. You have 5 AI agents. So those are the trained models built into the technology. Basic teaching resources. You can export your lessons to PDF, and you can view your plans in Marketplace. So that's going to be something we're integrating. I won't get into it too much. We'll do future calls and go into more detail about this platform. But today we're going to be doing a giveaway for two spots for the 3 months for free in the basic plan for 2 lucky attendees today. And then we're also going to do a giveaway for 5 massage vouchers. We also work with an app called Zen. It's like it's almost like a Grab for massages. So you'll be able to get 200,000 off of a massage of your choice, and they can even come to your home. So we'll be doing that giveaway in just a moment here. So as you can see, we have different plans, and again, we're going to be building this platform and adding more and more value as we go along. So one thing I want to do mention just before we do the giveaway is please join the communities. The main one that we're going to be discussing and looking to keep very active is the Discord community, where we can come and just discuss and troubleshoot and hear your feedback as well. That's another big thing. I kind of missed that. When you do your lesson, at the very bottom, it has a place for your feedback. Negative feedback is not negative to us. That just means that there's something that we can improve. So if you can just take a few minutes when you create a lesson to give us your feedback on what you like and, more importantly, what can be improved. So that's Bridge AI. I appreciate you guys listening to that walkthrough. Please install the app and begin using it, because we are going to be working around the clock to make this a very competitive app where you can use it to really streamline your lesson planning for the school year. So without further ado, let's do a giveaway. How many participants do we have total? Let me just check really quick. We have 22 participants, so I'm just going to bring that up. So we'll go 1 to 22. Hopefully it doesn't land on me or May or Karen, but let's give it a try here. All right, first one. So we'll do the 5 free vouchers, or sorry, the 5 200K off your massage vouchers first. I probably should have checked how I make this thing work. Eh? All right, spin. All right, there we go. Simple enough. All right, who's the first winner? Number 1. Oh, 22. Thank goodness, because number 1 is me, it looks like. So I'm glad that didn't happen. So 22, Shams Wararich. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Congratulations. Please just join the Facebook community and try to add me on Facebook or find me on the Discord, and then just private message me your email, and we'll get that voucher sent over to you. So we'll do the next 4 free vouchers really quick, and then the 2 3-month paid version of the Bridge AI app, and then that'll be us for today. So number 4, we got, just so I don't, oh, Karen, congratulations, you won. All right, so I'm going to go down to the next person in the list.
Yes,
and
of course, I
allow.
want to give away my prize. Let's try.
Sorry, Karen, you don't qualify. All right, so Anilau Dela Cruz, please send me a DM and we'll get that voucher sent over to you. Congratulations. It's going to do 3 more quick spins for the massages. Please keep in mind that this is a Saigon area thing that we have set up. Zen, we are looking to expand it to multiple locations, but right now it's just in Saigon. So if that's the case, send me a message if you still won, and we'll chat about it. If you're not in the area, we'll try to look for something. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Jennifer Fowler. All right. So I know she's in Italy. So send me a DM either way. We'll try to figure something out for you. Hopefully we get a few people in Vietnam that win these vouchers. So it's 2 more rolls. 16. Let's see. That is Nesni Durbin. Please send me a message to claim your voucher. Last one. We got number 21. So that would be Shazab Ali. All right, perfect. And now for the 3-month paid version of the Bridge AI app with the trained models. So we're going to do those 2 spins right now, and then that'll be us for today. So number 3. That's going to be one of us, isn't it? All right, so let's go with Bilal. Oh, man, you guys have some difficult names for me. I feel kind of embarrassed. Bilal Man, I probably butchered that really badly, but congratulations. Please send me a message. And then last one for the 3-month paid version of basic Bridge AI app, number 5. Low numbers today. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Christine Carba. Congratulations. Appreciate you guys. We also, just quick reminder, please join our communities, because we'll be having another webinar at the end of the month. We haven't chosen the exact date yet, but we are going to be looking to make this a monthly event where we get together and discuss about the implications of AI and how we can best integrate into the big changes that are coming in our industry. So I appreciate that. I'll pass it back to Karen to end the webinar, and thanks for everybody who attended.
Thanks, Michael. Actually, Michael So we both work in this Bridge AI product. Popet Celdran as our CEO and founder of this Bridge AI. Michael as our community, growth and community. Okay, Director of Growth and Community, and I am in the educational advisor. So we are here to, grateful to offer you free webinars, at least monthly webinar for you. And we are very thank you. And congratulations to all the winners of the vouchers. Wow, you guys are so lucky. All right, so before we end, let me sincerely thanks again our amazing speaker, Dr. May Castillo, and our guest speaker, of course, Michael and Poppet, for sharing such valuable insights. And of course, a big thank you to all of you, our participants, for your time, energy, and active engagement. Thank you so much. So certificates and the webinar recording will be shared with you via email. So please watch out for that. And we also invite you to stay connected for our future webinars, free webinars, networking opportunities, and resource sharing groups. Details will be posted soon. Now, before we close, we'd love to take a group photo. If you're comfortable, please turn on your cameras, guys, so we can capture this moment together. Everyone, turn on your camera for photo off. Photo off. Hello. Michael, stop sharing. Stop sharing, please. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, everyone, smile.